Assalamu alaikum. It's Advocate Gulraiz King. Today is the 19th of the June, and basically, I just intend to understand the new topic that is very deeply concerned with the Republic at default under the fiscal marital disorders. I said under the fiscal marital disorders. That is a huge issue in the Pakistan these days, which I observe primarily by myself. That is a very huge issue, which should have been understood by the Republicans every day. It is observed within the uh, baseline issues again during the last day, 18th of the June, in the rehabilitation centers that the females, in the questions of the wrong depicted marital summaries, just try to expect the perfection from their husbands in the sexual illicit explicit activities so far, as per my observations. And when I just reserved my observations regarding the same subject of the controversial mediums in the subjected obligations of the issues which are very devastated one as per my constitutional observation so far. The question in the judicial lines and in the civil discrepant behavior of the same subject of the Republicans of the Pakistan after in the decomposed marital disorders wired the anti-narcotics abuse processed children in the defection. Therefore, I intend to understand a new topic that is my favorite topic, the neuropathic discoveries of the scientific disapproval transactions by the humans into the inhuman children. As a matter of fact, you can observe in your surrounding today, the blood in the veins of the modern child is not rotating in the same degrees. Likewise, 45 degrees to 90 degrees as per the scientific calculations under the psychiatric studies in the Pakistan. The over birth reproduction issue within the Pakistan doesn't appeal to anyone to care about the same children in the sub-guardian ad litem cases in the High Court, via the Article 199. And if any constitutional case runs against anyone and he or she is always a disclaimer of the rights of the same in the subjected questions of the laws, operative clauses of the same object of the scientific disapproved sexual transactions. I always, since the year 2020, I was the lawmaker in the Pakistan. The legislation of the National Assembly. I'm making this video for the National Assembly and for the Senate to have the cohabit joint session to make a law in the compilations with the marital social discriminated disorders issues in the Pakistan as per my legal obligations. And today, the males are not willing to have one wife, or two wife, or three wife, or four wife. As per the Islamic law, I have just given that the right to have at least four wives. The females in the subjected output marital disorders just have the a lot of boyfriends, and after ejaculatory sexual illicit principal activities, what those females want from the males, such expired, such bogus, and such multiple fingered out females of the Pakistan just want A plus males for their sexual illicit activities inside their houses and their homes and their official mandate. The requirement of such females in the Pakistan, as per my calculation, here, as per my practicing area, that the Pakistani bastard psycho females, the bastard psychotropic bastard females of the Pakistan, their men dominance just posed to get those females in the psychotropic sexual marital disorder as per my calculation of the Republic of the High Court. This is going to be judicial order. That I'm not in the mood to understand any problem, anyone's problem beside myself. I told so many times. If any Pakistani bastard psychotropic disordered female is suffering of the vulnerable sexual principal disordered parental neglected obligation of her parent, that she must commit suicide with her parent. She should not show her face to me. I'm not. I'm legally very powered with the laws of Pakistan, so I'm not willing to have any Pakistani female bastard one because I have I just observed that the Pakistani psychotropic disordered bastard females. I just call them bastard in the sense of that they just manipulate the lives of the others. This is my calculations in regard with the Pakistani females. The bastard psychotropic disordered females of the Pakistan, 98%. Yes. And those females always get jealous out of the multipolar. They are not willing to extend her sexual needs with the male, but she is observing the workload of the other males for the welfare of the same in the objectionable or subjected income and expenses chart. And this blackmailing marital disorders in the Pakistan offensive attitude is rising day by day as per the calculation of the constitutional advocate Gulraiz King by myself. So I'm not going to have any bastard psychotropic disordered female because I have decided that after watching so many bastard females, they just sell the fabrications after, and the bastard Pakistani females always have the illicit sexual activities with the rich individuals. And after those rich individuals get poor, the same bastard females want to have the poor rich individuals in their pockets. This is the caseload of the Pakistani depictions of the cases in the 98% depiction of the criminal misappropriation of the facts of the Pakistani females. I'm not raising any war. I'm just depicting the war, marital discoveries, marital disorders of the Pakistani bastard females. I call them because I observe those issues throughout my practice of the law. These females, after getting fucked out of her father's wish or her mother's wish, just celebrate the times of the other person and never understand the issues of the same subjected male. Just selling the issues of the social discrepant rotatory issues to the same. As a matter of fact, I observe those issues by myself. Yes, this is a landmark judicial obligation in myself, in my guardian ad litem code as well, that if any female or after consumption of the ultimate multiple sexual activities with the young males, and I have heard that there are a lot of electronic transactions, electronic multimedia, digital transactions, and the digital sexual services which are being renderized by the Pakistani females and the Indian females in the outside Pakistan. That is becoming a judicial question in my court of judicial justice. As I said, that wherever I am, that will become an automated judicial advanced comparative constitutional code because of my educational level of practice of the law, operative one, and not dysfunctional one. So my standings are very perfect with the up challenges of the Pakistanis. I work for the welfare of the men dominance from now and then because I observe that the rotation of the Pakistani females, the biased one. I'm not raising the problems of the 2% and the 98% as per my calculations till the date of 18th June 2022 are becoming expired bodies, dysfunctional vaginal swabs, disorders in the public sectors. Yes, level of legislature. You thought that I'm not scientific as well. You thought that, but that was not a fact of law. So, in emergence with those issues, if a female after getting ultimate children out of the wombs of herself is trying to convince the surrounding under the equal rate of not being part of the same, in fact thereafter, I'm not willing to understand such unextendable issues of the same subject of the controversial subjected female. Yes, because I'm totally out of my senses. I'm totally senseless because when a female of resident in Pakistan is not observing herself in the fiscal resolutions to her family, then why she is expecting the same for another male that she is very perfect. If she is rendering the services in the Pakistan and is not willing to have the reciprocal inducement of the children while filing the guardian ad litem petition in the Pakistan is not maintainable in the favor of any Pakistani female. First, she have to disclose each and every day of the condonation of delay, section 5, but she is not willing to do so. She is willing to have the illicit principal activities with another male, and then she is trying to convince the other as well that the same person is not overlooking her physical issues as well as her fiscal issues in the Pakistan. This appears to be the glorified, challenging question in my judicial code of justice within the High Court during the Monday. That I observed those issues by myself that the bastard Pakistani females after sexually harassing the males, just want to have the ultimate children from the other male. Yes, and by not having the proper education and the reconciled one, what the 98% Pakistani females are charged with the capital sentence of household appliances issues in not in the perfection by the same subject of objectionable livings as well. Therefore, I just observed that the huge quantum of the failures of the Republican females and the males are doing hard for the welfare of a family, but the family of the same is trying to constructively blackmail the same subject of the uh, working as well. In the Pakistan, it is unsettled principle that when you just apply, just observe a family in your issue, that such family is not willing to extend yourself, that the same family is being suffered with the ultimate issues in the Pakistan. And after victimizing a central pointed individual, the same family plays constructive blackmailing to the same subject of objectionable incomes. And this appears to be the Money Lending Act 2007. Yes. The expirations of the ovaries inside the bodies of the females after the dates of her vaginal external outburst always comes a political question as well. The political inflation is another tool, and the political inflated females within the Pakistan, 98%, reproduced in the shelter of the ultimate aggression of the pills by the males' acknowledgement, and then those males are not willing to accept that such idiot males having the pills of the sexual advanced sexual illicit activities have produced nullified children under subordination in the guardian ad litem code. Therefore, it appears to be a secondary question that those males are not in the positions to observe the 95% of the working enforcement legal orders in the judicial courts of the justice, and all of them sudden wants the peace of justice in the substantive orders from the judicial courts wired up filing the writ petitions under Article 199 of the Constitution of 1973. But the same subjected individuals never consider the same individuals filing observing their writ petitions to be the individual as well. The same judge, the same judicial officer, while working under the Article 199, has had never been considered as a human. It doesn't matter that as a subjected male or female, as per my calculations of the mathematical equation of judicial justice as well. So the question of the recoveries of the physical incapacities through blackmailing the males and the females in the Pakistan is a favorite game of the Pakistanis these days because of the political inflated income and expenses outcharged. Yes. The level of the legislature, the books always pays, whether you like it or not. The issues of the Republican females having multiple boyfriend and having vaginal external outburst with the uh, tissues negligence affected one try to manipulate the males as well in the Pakistan. Yes, and those males, after being manipulated, want to have the recoveries inside their houses, outside their offices, and especially is in some rare cases in the danger zones like rehabilitation centers, certain and uncertain, modified or non-modified, specified as well, and non-specified. Yes, this is called the trial of the Republicans. Thereafter, the Pakistani and the reciprocating area of the individuals, after expiration of their testicles inside their bodies, always have the injections, embezzlements in their bodies, as I observed in all of the grounds under the PHA. Yes, Parks Horticulture Authority, that such parks are depicting the injection intake humans in advanced interferences, and such individuals who inject in poisonous injection inside their bodies are in the million of the quantities in the Pakistan, and they are just destroying the vaginas of the females. It doesn't matter that you have three daughters, four daughters, if you are married or you are not, but because of the unloaded missiles of the females and the subordination in the Pakistan, the secondary phrase which just uplifted during the downstream yards of the whole map load in the Pakistan appears to be the next circulatory affected individuals' diseases in the Pakistan. It doesn't cost to them that if someone is dying out of their mistake, they feel proud of it. It doesn't appeal to anyone in Pakistan that someone is facing the capital devalued instruments in the Pakistan. It doesn't cost them. They feel proud after having those injurious transactions to another male. And when you just apply a rule of precedence in the Pakistan that anyone should take responsibility under the liabilities of the vicarious, they just manipulate the same liable and reliable and responsible individual for the transaction or the wrong deeds of their own self. The more you just respect your surrounding, the more they disrespect yourself. In Pakistan is a primary idiom, yes, which I observe. They just expect under the inspection of the defection of the doubts, as per my calculations. They never expect the morality of the workings to their surrounding. Their teachers, their lecturers are not in the fit shape value to have the best nation in the Pakistan. That is why the Pakistan is suffering out of the load shedding issue in the Pakistan so far. Why the Pakistan is suffering out of the load shedding? Because the human resource management is not in the compliance of the proper execution of the working hours outside their per week or per month or per annum deadlines. This is my observation. They all are busy while sexually exploiting to each other while having no dimensions of their understandings that while just sexually wasting their hormones, they are not getting anything in their lives. And you, if you try to stop them that not to waste your hormones by just having the explicit sexual activities with the females or with the males, they are so pathetic that they sodomize with the males even in their upper age limits. They are not blinded by the facts, they're blinded by the their self egos of the religious transactions declined one throughout their lives. They're suffering from a lot of diseases and they are not expecting them to be the truth under the observations of their families. I just observed that after rotation of the ultimate aggression of the multiple females in the Pakistan, what I expect and what I observe appears to be the opposite scenes outside the public alleys so far. Thereby, I just observed that a lot of the feminist females becoming feminist out of these dangerous activities, principal criminal activities of the males at defaults under the subordination of the employment decline transactions up till now. Yes, this is my level of thinking about the uh, infectious individual in Pakistan that they only infect. Yes, they defect with infection as well. The more I intake without the prescription of the medicine from the doctor, the more diseases I will get. Yes, if I'm suffering from any disease, I should consult with the doctor. If I'm suffering from the law disorder, I should consult the attorney. If I'm suffering from the judicial order, I should consult the attorney clerk. But despite of that, I just being a Pakistani, I just represent a Pakistani in this video. That I feel proud to just get myself over the laws, over the hook and crook, and after that, when I just face a cumbersome situation in Pakistan, I just blame to the person who is working for the maintenance of the family. I just blame the same. This is the curse in the Pakistan. That's the way the most influenced individuals, political, highly reflected, skilled one, are not willing to extend in the public face defaced value as well. The public is consuming them to be food because they are busy while just sexually harassing to each other. That is the way the Pakistani females are not groomed in the 98% physical capacities. And that is the factor which just downstream the males in the public sector to destroy the carriers of the same subject of the controversial inclined revocations of the public disasters. I'm observing these issues. Even the PhD, even the doctors, even the medical practitioners are found in the ultimate drug addiction because of their family non-observance of the rights of the same subject of the controversial mediums. Yes, and they just object the same subjected working force individual of the same family, and they just blame the same in order to have the pecuniary profit from the same. This is the another curse in the Pakistan. The females are getting biased with their own self, their own skin. The males are getting partial to the society. And after that humanitarian negligence, what we expect and what we observe by the section 31, 32, and 33 of the Australian Humanitarian Act 2004, by the Article 199 of the Constitution of the Pakistan 1973. Every word of mine becomes a judicial order automatically, the level of my intellectual judicial understandings throughout my law practice. The way the public just observe their, you can say that, biased by passing opinions outside the optimum of the same under the optimal issues becomes the secondary question. Yes. The primary question every Pakistani lacks, that they don't want to have the expenses charged in their pockets. They want the sexual scenes in their pockets. That they want to prescribe the issues in the pockets, that how to commit sexual crimes with the females, and how to shift the blame to the head member of the family in the Pakistan is a primary social default of every house. And after that, if those issues are not working, then how to shift the blame on the religion of their choice. And if such religious transactions are under the negations, then they just revoke the civil perjury property rights to the same subject of intellectual understandings. So stay blessed. Its advocate, the advanced constitutional comparative advocate Gulraiz King, working for the welfare of the individuals. And this video is for the welfare public parameters.